Welcome to the Dalorrian show. We're talking about video games, and I'll say this, I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what time it is. The lights are out. The lights. Or as some people call it, the sun. Dalorrian, are you on hard drugs? No. No, I am not. That I know of. But I am going through a weird sleep cycle schedule thing. And today is New Year's Eve. And I think I will be awake at midnight on New Year's Eve for the first time in it. Well, I think maybe for the first time in a minute. Maybe I'm boring, maybe I'm old, I don't know, but I want to say last year. I remember, I think last year I was playing World of Warcraft retail at New Year's because I remember the fireworks in Stormwind. And I know you're thinking like, hey, Dalorrian, get that gun out of your mouth, bro. Like, hey, listen. Hey, that's a completely fine place to spend your New Year's Eve. WoW retail. I might log into WoW retail tonight for old time's sake. Just to see those fireworks. Because I assume my children will be asleep. Maybe not my little baby, but the oldest will probably be asleep. And at New Year's, like at New Year's Eve, like, you know, ringing in the new year. And then tomorrow we are traveling to do a final Christmas. We've had several Christmases, and this will be our final one of 2025, and it's actually happening in 2026. Actually, we may have another mini one at some point. This is Dalorrian's dad. We probably will have one with him at some point, so maybe not. Hey, maybe Christmas will go well into 2026, but our tree is down, but our outside lights and stuff are not down. That is on me. I will get to it when I get to it. I got to shove a bunch of shit into my attic, which I'm not looking forward to. Because again, I mentioned earlier, my sleep schedule is weird. So I have somehow accidentally swapped my sleeping to sleep in the daytime. Or my body thinks I'm supposed to sleep in the daytime, and then at nighttime my body's like, hey, let's don't sleep. Let's play Umamusume Pretty Derby on your phone all night. Now, maybe I have a problem that's bigger than sleep. Probably. We'll get into that. But yeah, I hope that you, if you're listening to this, I hope that you have had a good holiday season. Holidays are always hard, it's hard to navigate. There's a lot of traveling, there's a lot of visiting, there's a lot of gift giving and getting and keeping up. There's a lot of keeping up. You got to keep up. In a time in the year where everyone just wants to, I feel like, take a breather. It's like, the year's almost over. Can we just take it? Can we just, loosen our belt, just let our belly out a little and just breathe? Everybody's like, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta do, And but it can be good. It can be good. To get together with people, but you got to remember the reason for the season. And for me, it is Jesus, even though I'm the worst Christian of all time. If you ever come to my stream, You'll hear me say the F word and things like that. Not your typical Christian bro, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But that's what we try to reinforce with our kids. Like, hey, the Jews really. No, I don't. We don't tell them that. We don't tell them. Come on, of course not. Yet. But no, it's like you got the Santa Claus and the Grinch and the presents and the ho 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 and the food, and that's all great. It's all great. It's nostalgic. It's great. In my generation, the millennials, like we had good Christmases because the boomers like have no self-reflection. And the boomers like have no idea how to have any kind of tact, and they're not subtle. So what do I mean by that? On one hand, the boomers gave the millennials really good Christmases, I feel like. I mean, in general, some people probably had shitty parents and stuff. But like, waking up to a Sega Genesis, waking up to a go-kart, waking up to, it's just fun Christmas times. I had several of those. Nintendos and PlayStations and all that stuff. It was great. But like at the same time, like it probably should have been a little bit more modest. And there, like, depending on which family you were in, like the thing about the boomers too, though, is like it was like you could go the other way, where it was like I got like half the people I knew were either getting like they were like completely into the culture of buy materialism, Christmas, Santa Claus, the whole thing, and then the other half were like rigidly religious, where it was like, if you bring Harry Potter into this house, we will burn you at the stake. I remember being a senior in high school, bro, and this woman was like about to fight me over some Harry Potter. She wasn't even my mom, bro. But you know what I mean? Like, like people like there's a joke from oh god, I can see his face. What's his name? Nate Bargatze, where he's like, he was raised by Christians in the 90s, and he's like, and they were the most Christian, and boy is he right. He is right. God, it's true, man. They went so hard on it. And so for us, we're trying, like, we have a little baby, so like our efforts are probably my wife and our efforts are probably not as coordinated as they should be, because it's kind of like, you got this one, I got that one, right? And it's like, all right, I'll see you in 6 hours. After the end of my shift, we'll switch kids and do stuff. But that's kind of where we are right now. It'll get easier, but for me, I think Mrs. Dalorrian, like, I think she did okay this year with that. And then for me, like, I just tried to, like, sure, we were like saying our prayers at night and stuff, like, thank you, Jesus. We're thankful for Jesus, for Christmas, and try to reinforce like, hey, the real reason we do this is not so that we can listen to that Mariah Carey song and watch The Grinch over and over again, which my daughter is all about The Grinch right now. And I'm hoping that dies out. I hope like that, like you always run the risk of like Christmas shows, like she may ask for The Grinch for like the rest of the year. I might be watching The Grinch in the summer. And if that's not hell, I don't know what is. But so anyway, man, Christmas, the holidays, and New Year's is, I really like New Year's. You guys, like, there's been this memory that I've had, and I've said it on the stream several times, where like I have this nostalgic memory about New Year's Eve at my parents' house, and I was probably 15. Like, let's actually look it up. Like, when did Final Fantasy IX come out? And like, look, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy IX fan. But I don't love it as much as I like 7 and 8 much better. I think 8 might be my favorite. It came out in 2000. Right. Okay. So it came out in 2000. Um, so that means I was playing it. So I got it for Christmas that year. It came out in the summer. I must have not gotten it till Christmas, right? I was probably playing other stuff or doing it. I was doing basketball and sports. And like, holy Lord, I didn't play that one in the summer. I was probably. I mean, this is back to when you have to remember. This is back to when like Final Fantasy VIII probably came out the year before. Okay, now it's like a new like now with franchise games, you have like to wait 18 to 20 years for sequels for the next game to come out. Yeah. Okay. So February 11th, 1999, Final Fantasy VIII comes out. Okay. Um, July 7th of 2000, Final Fantasy IX comes out. So like just a year and a half later, you get 9. Can you imagine in 2025, 2026, now 2026, we're like, was I think Konami's like, we're gonna do Silent Hill every year now. It's like, all right, bro, whatever you say. But like, can you imagine? Like back in the day, dude, like GTA's like would drop every year. Like be like, oh, the new GTA's out. When the last one come out like a year and a half ago, it's like it was, dude, it was peak. But anyway, this one, so I was probably still playing on A really hard, like a year later. I beat that game several times. I was probably playing it throughout the year. These were like 4-disc games. This is back in the day when you had like several discs and you had to put it in the disc. And as you got to the story point, it's like, hey, put in disc 2. And it's like, okay, cool. And then, you had to load it in like an old person. You couldn't just download it off of Wi-Fi, man. But anyway, I remember getting this for Christmas, and I remember playing Final Fantasy IX during New Year's Eve, and like, I'm talking about like trauma with my family, and I don't have the perfect family, but I do love them. They love me, I feel like, and whatever, and a lot of them are still alive, thank goodness. But I just remember being like New Year's Eve, and I think I'd copped like a alcoholic drink. I think I did. I think I'd like snuck in and made like a little mix, like Coke and Crown and Coke or something. I don't know. I think so. And I'm playing like Final Fantasy 9 and there's no school. I can stay up really late. It doesn't matter. Everything's cool. And like my grandparents were there and family was there. Cousins I think were there maybe. And I was just in my room playing my game. I could hear them. I knew that they were there. Out in the living room and whatever. And it was like I could pop out, pop in, but it was like I'd been eating good food, for Christmas and everything, and I was playing this game, this new Final Fantasy game. Which again, I don't want to put too much emphasis on Final Fantasy IX. I didn't love that game. I can't remember much about that game, but it didn't matter. It was just like that year for whatever reason. And I must have been 15 at the time, probably 15 years old at the time. Or about to turn 15, maybe about to turn 16. I think about to turn 16. Yeah, man. There was no 9/11 yet. I feel like that kind of changed things a lot. And yeah, so I just have this memory. Like, I guess my point of all this is like, I get a little bit more nostalgic about New Year's Eve than maybe I do Christmas. So I hope that you guys are having a good New Year's Eve. Maybe you're going to go to New York. Maybe you're going to go to Times Square. Never. Why would you do that? I see that every time. And I'm like, what are they doing? How could they do that? I actually have a friend I think that's going to be there this year. I hope she's safe and good. No, but I hope it's cool. And even if you're just playing WoW retail, like, I guess I'm either going to be playing Animal Crossing New Year's Eve, probably. We might stream Octopath Traveler tonight, but before the clock strikes 12, I will probably log on to a game that is thematically New Year's Eve. Again, my kids are a little too young now to like, stay up all night, whatever, we're not, we have, come on. Well, you don't do that. I mean, now I may be up all night with a baby anyway, and I may be up all night anyway from sleep issues. Because right now it's like right now it's like in the morning, and my body wants to sleep. My body's like, "Hey, this is the time. It's nighttime, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's fucking not. It's not, dude. It's daytime." I probably need to go outside, though it's freezing, and just let the sun hit my body. Take off all my clothes, and just let the sun hit my body, and then be like, "You're up." But I don't know if I'm that strong. Anyway, let's talk about some games. Let's talk about some games. I mentioned before, obviously, Animal Crossing, and every morning I wake up and I play Animal Crossing for like 10 minutes. I check the store, I dig up my fossils, and I check my rock placements. And if you don't know about Animal Crossing, so my whole island, I have made basically it's concrete, and I have made specific squares that are grass. And if you do that, you force the game to spawn your rocks, which is a rock is like a resource where you can mine basically stone, clay, iron, and sometimes gold nuggets. I have I have 4 situated in a section, and I think 9 rocks spawn total. I could be wrong on that. Maybe 6. No, it's 6. It's 6. I have 9 squares. I'm looking for 6, whatever. And then you get about 4 fossil spawns a day, and then 2 or 3 weed spawns, right? Like just weeds that pop up on your island. So mine are always like in the same location. So like it's very like I do very methodical. Like I wake up, or my guy comes out of his house. I go to the shop. I see, is there anything to buy for me and Mrs. Dalorrian for collection's sake, or to continue to make my island look like Mother Base? Then I go to the town hall, or whatever it's called, guest services. Get on the little ATM machine, do my daily grind there. I look for any kind of special stuff, whatever. Go to the clothing store. If it's 9 a.m., typically it's not 9 a.m. yet, so I might hit that later in the day or something. See if there's any clothes that I want, and then I do my rocks and my fossils and all of that. Then I sell everything, and then we're done. That's been Animal Crossing for me for a while. I haven't really done any fishing or anything, and that's just because I've been going hard on other games. But it's still something Mrs. Dalorrian and I are still kind of doing. Like I have all of my villagers there that I want. I have moved all of their houses to the places that I want. Now it's just going to be like changing the island ever so slightly and collecting and continue to like do what I want to with it. But you know, for all practical purposes, I log onto that game. If I didn't log onto that game for a week, I probably wouldn't miss it. You know what I mean? Like it will be there. I have a goal. That's not. You can really grind hard on Animal Crossing, but you really should not. You really should just kind of log in once a day and go with it. Now, some people really go hard on it, and that's fine. That's probably like their only game they play. I get it. But not for me. For me, it's like something it's like the only game right now that me and Mrs. Dalorrian can kind of share. And we'll like I said, dude, we'll probably like tonight when we get the oldest down, and then it's just me, her, and the baby. Like it'll probably be like, hey, you want to just log in Animal Crossing and just like, you know, watch some fireworks or something. I know this might seem sad to you, but it is what it is. So we might could go somewhere real, but we have little children, so we'll catch it on we'll catch it on the flippity flip. We'll do some more New Year's Eve times when the children are older. Hopefully we have several future memories to make with the children. But right now we're just in that mode. We're just in that new baby mode. So you got to make the memories where you can. And honestly, 20 years from now, I might look back and say, man, my favorite New Year's was when it was just me and my babies and Mrs. Dalorrian playing Animal Crossing. That was the best. Maybe I might be saying that. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm positive about that. I'm looking forward to it. Other games, Octopath Traveler 0. I haven't played this in like a week. It's such a long game, and I'm running out of gas a little bit on it. Just because I have set this arbitrary and this is my fault. I've set kind of an arbitrary date that I need to finish it by January 12th. Because pre-patch and WoW comes out, I think I'll go hard on that. And then pre-patch of Midnight is going to come out soon after. And it's like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do all the WoWs that I want to do? And then I'm into these other Gacha games right now. And so it's like, it's going to be a perfect storm of like, oh no, there's too many live service games to play. What do I do? This is not a live service game, so this game does not require you to play it, which I love that about this game. I love that about Octopath Traveler 0. It reminds me of an old school game like Final Fantasy 9 where I can just play it whenever I want. But yeah, that game, I still really love that game. It's not fully abandoned. I will probably stream it tonight. It's New Year's Eve. I'm probably not going to do anything too crazy. It's probably going to be kind of a chill thing. But yeah, I kind of want to get back into it. You don't want to leave it too long, get too stale, but we're gonna see what we can do. Umamusume Pretty Derby. Wow. I can't remember if I talked about this. I think I did talk about this last time. I have got a team going now. I have a 4-star, several 3-stars. And I'm at the part in the game where I could eat. Like, now is the time for me to spend money on this horse racing anime girl game. And I'm not going to do that. But the currency has gotten a little bit harder to farm. And now the loop is to do my dailies, my daily races, and then to do my career. And I've done all of the horses that I own. I've done careers for almost all of them. Save a few, like there's like a couple of 2-stars that I haven't. And with those, like they're just, it's harder to get a higher rating out of the gate. Or like when you finish your career, you get a rating, right? You get like depending on how well you do in your career. Let's say that for where I am in the game, and this might be like kind of the top tier experience, but you run a career. And when you run a career, you come out and you have either an F or actually G to S rating of your overall racer. My highest I have 2 A's now. And then everyone else is kind of like a B and B plus. I have 15 racers. That's 15 unique racers, no duplicates. Well, I say that Simbali Rudolph, this is a real name. There's sometimes there's different versions of the same horse depending on their outfit. So like one of them is like, she's like a Japanese archer, and then the other one, she's like an emperor wearing like military garbs, but it's the same horse. Listen, man, don't question it. Just go with it. Right. All right. So anyway, I have 15 horses, girls, whatever, who are on my team. It's like 5 teams of 5, 3, and they're all B and above. And so now I'm going through the careers with the characters that I've already done, and my support team is better. I'm learning how to play the game better. I'm learning how to finagle the career a little bit better. And so now I'm starting to come out with like some A's. And they haven't fully replaced the B's yet, because like you can't have duplicates on your team. But we're working on it. I've streamed it a couple of times. I will probably still keep playing this game. And not because I'm just like, I love these horse girls. There is a game underneath this, man, that I absolutely love. And I've thought about like this game. I've been thinking about a game in my head that's very much like this for a long time, like specifically a phone game. And at one point in time, I was like, I'm going to make this game one day. Like I've written it down, I've made notes, never done it. But here's the game that I want. And it can be a gacha game kind of like this. And this gacha game is kind of unique because I feel like it's not as predatory as the other gacha games can be. But gacha games kind of give you like an infinite. The thing I like about it is they kind of give you like an infinite grind, much like World of Warcraft or some of these other MMOs and stuff. if you spend money, it can get kind of heartbreaking because you are gambling. And it can get kind of heartbreaking because if there is like one character or one horse or one thing that you want, you just have to be okay with like, you may not get that. You're going to get the team that you get early on because like these games always front load your currency. So you get you used to like pulling and, oh yeah, I'm pulling the slot machine. Oh, I'm getting all these characters. Great. And they take it away from you. And then they take it away because it's like, hey, you remember how it used to feel when you could like just pull and like just pull the slot machine and try to get what you wanted? Remember that? Why don't you give me $5 and let's just do that again? Let's just do that again. Give me $5. You'll get somebody. Guaranteed you're going to get a 3-star, right? You'll get guaranteed we'll give you one. We may not give you the one you want, but we're going to give you one. Yeah. So anyway. So with this game, if it were just like you take away like the horse racing aspect of it, you can take away the anime girl aspect of it. And if you do that, what you have is a character-based game where you can level up the characters in several different ways. Like you can level up their base stats, you can level them up in a career, and then have them on the outside of that, like where they're a veteran now, and then you can place them on a team that you manage to do other races where you need 5 racers, or online PvP events where you need 5 racers. And you know, there's stats to it where you see what the stats are of the character. Like in this case, it's like, okay, this character's good at long races, this character's good at sprinting, this character's good on turf, this character's good on dirt. It doesn't matter. And then from there, it's like their speed, their stamina, their guts, their wit, their power, right? Whatever. Okay. There's these systems and these numbers that go up that kind of multi-factor can make your character more meta or more stronger. And then you also have a segment of support cards, which I really like, where it's like they're not necessarily, they race with you sometimes, but they're really there to make you stronger in your career. So then when you go through a cycle of a career and they come out as a veteran where you use them like more to like an online version of the game, they support those efforts. Now, if you strip away all the horse stuff, all the anime girl stuff, and if you replace that with like fantasy, right? So imagine a world where like you have a warrior that you pull who has stats. He's horrible at magic, but he's really good at swords or something. You can imagine a world where like you can pull versions of him to make him better. He's a 3-star. You pull him again. Maybe he becomes a 4-star. And instead of a career, you send him on a campaign. And as he goes on this campaign, he has support. There's a little story that goes with it. And when he comes out, he's now on your dungeon team. He can be a tank for you. He's good at tanking. He's good at sword fighting or something. And in this dungeon, you need an A rating of sword or shields or something. Let's roll again. Now you have a mage character. You send them on their campaign. They're really good at arcane or magic. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying. You keep playing the game. Now you have 15 fantasy characters like a rogue, an archer, some mages, a healer, a cleric, a barbarian, a warrior, a fighter. That is the game that I want. That is the game I probably would spend money on. And the thing about it that you have to have, though, it has to be super snappy, super flashy UI. It has to be pretty. And it can be Goonie if you want to be a Gooner. It could be. It could be. If you want to just throw that in there. It could look anime, even. It doesn't matter. If it's like anime looking, it doesn't matter. That would be cool with me. I don't care. Or if you look more Western, that'd be cool too. Give me that game. That is the game that I want. And I thought about like logistically, like what would it take to make this game and have it to where, because like the thing is like you can say like, okay, let's just do this game, dude. No, dude, you could do this game. Dude, you could do this game, right? 1 or 2 guys could do this game. And you may be right. But Cygames, who makes this game like Umamusume, like they support long term, It's an online gacha game. There's seasons. They keep introducing new characters. They have teams of people working on this, and the graphics and the UI are so clean and so flashy, and all the character models aren't doing much. Like outside of the racing, the character models aren't doing much, but like the animations are so good. And then when they do race, you're not pushing any buttons or anything. You're just watching the race. But then they have skills that pop as they can pop as they go on the race. And then there's like a gacha game cutscene specific to this racer, where it does the anime thing where like zooms in on them and then they do their move and then boom, they're running faster. And it's like I just imagine a world where like I could send a little warrior dude on a dungeon run and he's like I'm just watching him fight some goblins, you know. And then he has a skill. It's like, bro, you're gonna die. You need to pop your rage skill. And then it does like and he's like looks like a badass with a sword, and then cuts some heads off. And you're like, fuck yes, you know, anime style or like whatever. Like, yeah, like, and then he goes, and you're not even playing the game, you're just watching it play, but it's the stuff that you managed up to that point to make it happen. That is the game I want. If someone listens to this and makes this game and makes millions of dollars, I won't get mad. Because I don't want the millions of dollars. I want this game. If I had millions of more dollars or whatever, cool, whatever, I don't care. I'd rather play the game. Because if I'm a super millionaire or if I'm really poor or whatever, I'm still going to want to play this game. You see what I'm saying? So like nothing really changes about my thoughts on this. So yeah. So like when I play this game, though it may seem like this guy is just gooning hard, I actually really just enjoy the system of it. It's nice just through a career. It's not, and I skip through all the career stuff. Like you can look at you can do all the whole visual novel storyline of the girl's going to the class and she's training and her friends come up and talk to her. You can do all of that. Most streamers that I see, most people that I see, you can do like fast skip and it's just like, and it's like at night when I'm in the bed playing it, it's just like, and I'm like, God, like it's like a lightning storm in my eyes. It's probably, this may be why my sleep schedule's messed up. This could be the culprit. Maybe flashing lights in my eyes in the middle of the night is not a good idea. Anyway, this game, you know, again, this game got Mobile Game of the Year. There is something I really love about this game, and it's the systems in the game, the aesthetic, and the content of the game with the horses, horse girls, take it or leave it. But there is a really nice progression loop and team management loop, and I love management sims, and I love any game that has progression, and I like any game that has multiple levels of progression, stats, specs, professions, all wrapped up into the one. You know, and a lot of times you have systems like that in games, and it can become too much. Like there's a lot of mobile games, dude. Clash of Clans or like Raid Shadow Legends, and then I'm trying to think of some others where it's like you're like, dude, just play Raid Shadow Legends or something. It's like, dude, look, that's too much, and it's not satisfying. Because then you're taken to this like stupid thing, like you have like a town builder, and you have to like turn your phone sideways and you just scroll and like tap on the little blacksmith house. And it's like, okay, level this, okay, look. It's just a shitty experience. I don't want that. I don't want a town builder on a little phone. And a lot of times these games that are kind of like this, where it's like team management sim, they have that. I don't want that. I don't want like a town hall where I gotta like, or like a town where like I gotta go to the blacksmith and scroll. No, I gotta build some this and a gate and a wall. I don't want to do that on my phone. I just want to look at my list of dungeon running characters and be like, all right, we're all just in a tavern. We never leave the tavern. If we go to the tavern, we go to the dungeon or whatever, right? Like it doesn't matter where we go so much. Just keep everybody here and let me just work on them. And that's what this game does so well. This game does that really well. And it's just honestly, it's just a beautiful game. Like even when you click the screen and little stars and horseshoes pop out, it's such a satisfying experience. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how good it is. Even though we stream this as a joke, I'm actually really enjoying it. We're going to talk about Wuthering Waves next. I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be right back. And we're back. Wuthering Waves. I am really enjoying Wuthering Waves right now. My lineup right now is Calcharo. I'm going to be saying these names so wrong. Vereen. Calcharo is just Sephiroth. Vereen, a little girl who heals and buffs, basically. And then Yinlin, elf, redheaded baddie who's like a spy. And she uses like a whip or something like that. And she's a trial character. I haven't actually unlocked her, but that's my team right now. And I just unlocked last night Shorekeeper. And I have, so my best characters probably are Frolova and Shorekeeper. And if you don't play Wuthering Waves, I'm sorry. These characters are good, but I haven't. So Frolova and Shorekeeper are really good. Maybe the best meta characters that I have, but I can't really use them because I need to progress the story, because I can't level them up past 40 until I can farm their boss that you have to kill to then get their materials. Then I can ascend them and get them basically to level 60. If you don't know how gacha games work, basically all like to level anything up, weapons and characters or whatever, you typically have to farm materials to level them up. That's all you need to know. And typically you have to spend a currency to farm that material, that other currency. And that's typically a time-based thing where it's like you have to wait, several hours, and then you get more, and then you spend 60 of them. You can only hold 240 of them. It's 60 per pull. Listen, we're not going to get into this, but Wuthering Waves is, I love the open world. I love all the little puzzles, and like it's very simple. With the one material and currency you're farming is asterite. That is what lets you pull. And I haven't hit the end game yet, but if I do, I could see myself falling off at the end game, because like if the game eventually just becomes like, how strong can you get? Then I'm probably going to fall off. But then I'll also say like, I've beat the game until the next patch. But I would say like for a game that I've spent no money on, it's a beautiful game and I'm really enjoying it. And it's a little gooner. It's a little bit more gooner than Genshin, right? But I think it's also more generous than Genshin. I feel like that I'm free to play. I'm still getting good characters. I think if I just play the game, I will get good characters and good weapons. It's a little bit of a grind, but there's pity to it. Like as far as like, and I'll try to explain that. So per card or event where you pull the old slot machine, typically it's in a set of 80 pulls. And you get a 50-50 split. So let's say that you have a character that's on an event tab, right? Every 10 pulls, you're going to at least get a purple character or weapon. And then you will get basically like within 80 pulls, you're going to get a 5-star character. Either you will get the character that is on the event that you're rolling for, or you will get another 5-star character randomly that already exists. If you get the random 5-star character, and it's a coin toss, 50-50 chance, then the next time you pull a 5-star within 80 pulls, you are guaranteed to get whoever is on the event card. Get it? Anyway. But yeah, that game, I continue to play it. I continue to want to stream it. There's so much that I haven't even unlocked that like you can start farming and doing things with. I feel like the combat is so satisfying. Combat, the ultimates. That's what made me afraid of this game. It's because like if you watch somebody play Wuthering Waves, you're like, there's so much shit going on the screen. This is too much. Like, what is going on? I can't even handle this. The game actually does a pretty good job at teaching you how to play it. And it's like, dude, you can play it on a phone. It's not that many buttons you have to push. Now, having said that, I would never, ever suggest anyone play this on a phone without a controller. I can't imagine a worse experience. I'm just saying that you can do it. So the combat's not that insane. It's not like Elden Ring, right? Like, it's not like you can do it. It's light attack, heavy attack, ultimate, dodge. That's it. And then like up and down and stuff to switch characters. That's it. But yeah, you know, just really enjoying it for what it is. I haven't played a Gacha game like this in a while. And like the other game that's like in the back of my mind every day is Honkai Star Rail. And again, and we talked about this. I don't know where my old account is, so I would have to start fresh, which would be okay. That's turn-based. Like Honkai Star Rail is a good phone game. Wuthering Waves, not a good phone game. Honkai Star Rail doesn't have an open world. It's like you just go through different zones and click on things, and then it's turn-based. And then you can kind of skip the turn-based, but then you're trying to pull the turn-based characters. Way better phone game situation than Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves, you need a controller. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep playing that one. That's the one, I'd say of all the games that I'm playing right now, that's probably the one I'm enjoying the most. Weird, right? Did not see me ending the year playing Gacha games and that being like the game I want to play. Arc Raiders is still popping off. I turn Arc Raiders on like once every 3 days. I log on and I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? And I think if like Jack Lars was playing, maybe I would get in, but I think he feels a little burned by it because he didn't do his expedition. And you know, he may not even be gaming right now. I haven't really talked to him. I need to try to catch up with him. I try to get him to come play with us whenever we played. The next game we're going to talk about Sunderfolk. But yeah, I think he's just not playing games right now. So we'll get him back. We'll get him back and do some Arc Raiders at some point, I'm sure. Because now, like for me in Arc Raiders, like I'm like it's like I started the game over. I got one extra skill point, a new skin, but my chicken is level 1. I got no workstations. It's like a complete wipe of the game. And I don't know if that's very fun at all. Maybe it is. I haven't decided. But either way, I'm like, I'm not ready to do it again. I'm not ready to do it again. The rest of the world seems to be enjoying it. According to the Steam charts, like it still has retained 90% of its player count. Battlefield has lost 80% of its player count since its release. So yeah, Arc Raiders is blowing the hell up. Well, not blowing the hell up, but it's still doing just fine, whether I'm there or not. Sunderfolk. Got a message from our boy Cosmo Gang, friend of the stream. And he was like, hey, y'all, let's try Sunderfolk. Now, looking at this game, this is a game I probably would never play aesthetically. Reason being is because it's kind of cutesy, but ugly. And so what is this game? One player has to own the game on a console or PC, which is me. I own the game on Steam. I bought it. And you turn the game on, and as soon as you turn the game on, it's like, scan the QR code. Like, you cannot play this game without a phone. I think you can play single player if you just wanted to. I don't know why you ever would. You can play one player Sunderfolk, but you have to have a phone or something with a camera, which means you have to download the free app. And so we all scanned the QR code, and then we all got into the game, and then I'm streaming. Basically, I streamed it, but also streamed through Discord so they could see what was going on. But even I had to play on my phone. And that's where like my abilities were. That's where we took turns or whatever. And basically this is a tabletop hexagon board of animals. Like you have like a tank character that's a bear. The sniper ranger character was a gazelle. And then I was a lizard. I was like a fire mage, a fire lizard. And my class could really deal out some damage, but the whole time I was like, I should have been the bard. I should have been the bard or the rogue. I almost went rogue when the rogue is like a ferret or something. And then there's like a crow, which is like a mage of a different kind. I don't know, man. And then the enemies you're fighting are like monster animals, and like your first little quest that you drop into is, again, you're on the map, is like save these villagers, and the villagers are like an armadillo and a puffin. And it's weird because like they look like humanoids, like they all stand upright, but like the puffin was just off-putting because it was like this weird androgynous body puffin. So like every character in this game is a female voice, and you can tell it's like the studio that made this, like I think a lot of girls made this game, and there's like, no offense, you can just tell. I'm sorry, I know there's like 80 genders, but you can just tell when it's a guy or girl making a game or doing whatever. But all the voice acting is girls, all of it, and it sounds like they kind of did it on their phone, and it sounds like sometimes there's like a little girl character. It's like they handed it to their daughter. It's like, record this thing, and we're gonna put it in the game, whatever. And as you go through the missions and you complete them, which was fine, it's like cards, you roll on it. It's D&D, bro. It's Baldur's Gate. Well, I'm not gonna compare it to Baldur's Gate, but you know what I'm saying. It's what you expect. You roll, and then there's a modifier. It's like rolling a D20, except not. Skips that. It's just a modifier you can pick. You have spells. You have move turns. And it's kind of weird because like you have to do it all on your phone. So like moving, you have to look at the screen. But then you have your phone, and you have to and your phone's like a blank screen. You have to like move, and you have to like make sure that your character is moving correctly, like on the screen. It works better than I'm making it. And I will say, like, it was kind of clunky with how it felt. But I will say, like, we dropped out a couple times, and it was insanely good at like me closing the app and then turning the app back on, and then I'm like right back in the game. Like, even with the disconnects, which I was worried about, like probably better than any other game I've ever played. You just come right back in, no screen. Are you sure you want to join the game? You want to rejoin the game? You want to do this? Nothing like that. Really good. Some things in this game design, not very good. That's very good. That was like the top tier thing about this game. I could lose connection on my phone. The app could crash. My phone could die. I turn my phone back on. I'm immediately back in. As soon as I push the app, I don't have to go through anything else. I'm back in. That was amazing to me. I was like, wow, that's really good. That's really good. Most game, like rejoining in games when you leave can be such a pain in the ass. Which oddly enough, our creators does pretty good at that as well. I've noticed. But some games, like you leave and it's over. Like we'll talk about Rainbow Six Siege. That's one of the more frustrating ones. I've been kicked out of Rainbow Six Siege before. You lose internet or it kicks you or whatever the hell, and then you come back and it's like, hey, you left the game. You're gonna get penalized for leaving the game. There's other games. I'm trying to think of, there's another one that was kind of like that. Oh, FIFA. Like someone will turn off their game or something, and then, or like you'll lose internet. Like in FIFA when I was playing earlier this year, I would lose internet during a match with someone or something, and then to be like, you left the game, bro. Fuck you. You can't leave the game. And it's like, dude, I didn't leave the game. You kicked me out or I lost internet, and you won't let me rejoin. That's bad. Especially for a quadruple A game like FIFA. We'll see if that changes now that Saudi Arabia and Donald Trump's nephew owns FIFA. We'll see if anything changes there. I doubt it will. I wonder if they'll get rid of the girl characters. Probably. The best striker in the game this year was Pena, which is a girl. And I've said before, it always feels awkward, but eventually I was like, this doesn't really matter. Like, once I got into FIFA, it didn't really matter. Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. Sunderfolk. As you play through Sunderfolk a little bit, you then get a town builder where you can like level up the blacksmith, level up the post office, the gates, or whatever. It's not as... I don't think I made that sound cool. It's not very cool. You get trinkets. I think you eventually get weapons. We didn't play enough to get to that level. I think you have to get like level 5, and then Then you can use weapons. You get a trinket. You can use a trinket like once per mission that you're doing. There's several different types of missions. We did like a puzzle mission, which was annoying. We did, explore, which is one. They're kind of named random things, I don't know. It also seemed weird because like when we got into the game, we each could choose the difficulty. And we all chose balanced, which is like normal. But it makes me think, what if someone would have chose easy? What if someone would have chose like extreme? Because it basically, and they named it cutesy things or whatever, like, but not cutesy, but they named it different things. But it's basically, it was like easy, normal, hard, and hardcore or something, right? We all chose balance, which is normal. But I was like, what happens if somebody chose easy? But like, you have to remember, this is not that kind of game. Where this is a kind of game where it's pretty laid back, and like it's weird because it's like it's a D&D thing, and we have our characters, and it's like you kind of want to take it a little seriously, but then you're all just a bunch of weird animals, so you can't take it too seriously. And you're like in this weird, your town is like under a tree or something, like in a tree root, like in a cave. I don't know, man. I hate that aesthetic. Like now, maybe if the character, like maybe if the bunny, there's a rabbit too. Maybe if the rabbit and the gazelle, maybe if they have boobs. Maybe if they have big giant boobs, like human boobs. Maybe if the armadillo had giant human female boobs, maybe I'd be like, all right, this is the best game I've ever played. I don't know. But that doesn't exist, so we'll never know, will we? But either way, and we all talked about this when we were streaming it, and it's up on YouTube. You can go watch our playthrough. It was a fun night. Like, we actually had a fun time, I think, playing the game. I think people enjoyed watching it as we live streamed it, but, we all just kind of went away from it saying, like, I don't think we're going to play this again because there's too many other games we can play that are like this that are better. And I think ultimately none of us really love the aesthetic of the game. And that was the damning thing. I think some of the playability stuff was a little clunky, whatever. But I think if we loved the aesthetic and we were totally into our characters and totally into like the story characters and the town and stuff, we would have overlooked any kind of clunkiness in the phone situation, of which there was very little. Now, having said that, I was hosting the game, playing it, like it may have been a little bit more laggy for them, having to watch a stream of it. Again, it's designed for people to be in the same room, really. Like the best way to play this would be people in the same room. Now, again, I can't imagine huddling up with a bunch of dudes and playing the animal version of D&D. But we all agreed, like, you have to do something different. In the tabletop world of games, you got to be different somehow. That's the choice they made, just not our vibe. I don't think I'm going to try to like get a refund on the game or anything. I'm going to support the studio because I like what they're trying to do. It's just, it could be better. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think we're going to try to play Demio next. Demio is a great game. I have it on VR. I love playing it on VR. And I thought about streaming on VR. I just don't think logistically I can stream on VR and pay attention to the chat. And I like to hang out with the chat and talk to them. I could put on the headset and just not engage with the chat and have Cosmo Gang engage or something, and maybe that's what we do. But Cosmo Gang also is like, hey man, let's do some VR chat on stream. And I'm like, I haven't done that in a long time. Maybe I could always go to the Kmart as a Pikachu and interview people for jobs at the fake Kmart, which that's what I do in VR chat. If I ever play, I do stuff like that. But I don't know, man. We'll see what we're going to do with that. It really just depends on how much energy I have. But if possible, maybe not this week, but next week we might try to play Demio. And we probably won't play the VR version. We might just play the Steam version of it, which it's just quite good. And I like that game too, because if you're like us, where me and those two fellows can't get together super often. Like, this has kind of been a miracle that we can get together as much as we can. But a lot of times, like, we get into a situation where, like, it might be a while, things may pass. And so if we have like a story driven game with the characters that are, ongoing, like level 5, we may lose connection with it if we stay away from it too long. If you're doing like a weekly D&D tabletop kind of game, it's super easy to get back into. That's why I like Demio, because it is that, but it's like runs. You just make runs at the game. It's like a singular run. It's 3 levels of a dungeon. Can you make it to the end and beat the boss? Yes or no. You do your best. But it's always fresh that way. And then there's no pickup and whatever. So that's why I really love it. I really love like the run based version of that game. Yeah, so Sunderfolk, I would say if you have a couple friends that really love D&D or tabletop stuff and they want to play, it's worth trying out. One of you can buy it and the others can play it. But if you look at the art and a video of the gameplay and you don't instantly love it, you should stay away. For me, it's like the art direction is just like, it's an indie game. It feels very indie, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna shit on it, completely. I don't think I'll play it again. But I don't speak for everyone, right? That's what I've been playing. Like I said, we'll get into some stuff later, but it's been good. It's been good playing through the holidays. Let's get into the news. A couple things happening in the news that aren't quite game related, but I want to talk about it. Is number one, MTV, music television, is finally officially ending. And MTV came out when I was born, like in the 80s. And that's when it was like music videos. And that was just like a different time in American culture. And then flash forward. So when I was a teenager and MTV was starting to get into reality TV, Road Rules, Real World, all that. And as a teenager, I didn't really engage in all of that. But what I did engage in was in TRL. And a lot of people were like, I've seen so many comments on this online, like, MTV died when it stopped playing music videos. MTV died whenever TRL got created. Whatever, bro. Okay, all right, yeah. Now, it's been dead for a long time, MTV. True, because like, music videos exist, but now it's like, do people just watch music videos anymore? I don't think they do, but they used to. And Ben, let me tell you, watching music videos back in the day was amazing. When I was coming up, if you want to watch music videos, you didn't watch MTV, you watched Fuse. Because Fuse would actually play good music and it would play, it would be like actual segments of music videos. And MTV, like late at night, would have some of that. It wasn't like VH1 where it was like pop up video, and whatever. There would be some, every once in a while you could catch MTV having some relevant spans of music video playing, but usually it was like middle of the night. And then it became kind of like rappy, like there was like hours at night would be like rap music and stuff, which is fine, but like with like rap music, again, like growing up in my home, dude, I was in a small home, one TV, and like rap videos back in the 2000s and late 90s is like just shaking that ass. It's just boobs and butt shaking, bruh. Which, if I'm here in my house private as a 40-year-old man and I'm watching some ladies, flinging it around while some dude raps over it, who cares, I guess. But when you're like 13 to 16 years old and it's 1 a.m. in the morning and your mom walks in and you got that going on, might not be the best thing to be having on. It could get awkward. It could get awkward fast. Anyway, I love late 90s rock music, which, it's not the highest quality of rock music, but you guys know I love like Third Eye Blind and music from that era, like the Wallflower, like the first Wallflower CD I absolutely love. U2 in the 90s and early 2000s was really good. There's just a lot like I like the music more than like a lot of the bands. A lot of these bands had kind of weird careers, short lived. Like I like that Everclear song. I'm not a Sugar Ray fan, but there's Sugar Ray songs. It's like, oh yeah, that was of a time. Every morning there's a halo, that was of a time, man. And I never owned like a Sugar Ray CD. Then there's like Lit. Can we forget about the things we said when I was drunk? I didn't mean to call you that. Please tell me why my car's in the front yard and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. All right, I'm gonna stop. There's just some bangers. And you know what's weird? I think it's so weird that the one song that really a song that has spanned the generations from that time period was like such a forgettable trolly song, and it's Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. Like when that song came out, that song was not good. Popular, kind of, but it was kind of like, this is okay. This is just like, I don't know, like if I had to put music in that time period, like in a tier list, because that's just how we talk in like terms now. Wheatus, Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus would have been a deep tier song. But now in 2025, I saw a video of like Ed Sheeran pulling out the Wheatus guy playing a stadium. Like Teenage Dirtbag. It's like, wait, what the fuck? What? I mean, bro, you had Blink-182 back then. You had Foo Fighters back then. I mean, you had a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I enjoyed that time period of music a lot. And that's because what I grew up with. And in that, you had TRL. And TRL could never exist today. Well, TRL could exist today, but it would have to be, man, how could you make that work? I don't think TRL could work today. Actually, TRL could not work today because there's too much music and no one listens to the same music. Like TRL was like at the end of an era where we all culturally were on the same page, where we all knew what songs were out. And the idea of TRL was so great because it was like New York every afternoon. It was like live. They bring in some artists. Sometimes artists would perform. Not sure, it would be like Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. But in my mind, it's always like, this is Carson Daly and TRL, and this is a Blue Monday by Orgy. And it's like, this is How You Remind Me by Nickelback or something, like whatever. But it'd be like a top 10, and they wouldn't always play like the full music video. It'd be like, hey, here's the song, and then like on like the top song, they would usually play it. But still, like I remember seeing like Liam Gallagher coming and get interviewed. All of the bands that were popular would come in and get interviewed. Movie stars would come in and get interviewed. And it wouldn't be like a long sit down thing. They're like, when they interviewed these people, they stood up. Carson Daly stood up the whole time. It wasn't like a podcast form. It was like, hey, let's just come in. Hey, what's going on? You're going to perform a song? Okay, cool. You're performing a song. Oh, you got a movie coming out? Cool. Okay, here's the next song. Boom. And it's just like, it was awesome. All right, let's go down the street. Check out how people are down the street. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a live performance. Oh, this person's coming out. And it was like, we didn't have cell phones, like smartphones. It was like instantly, dopamine hit, whatever. Or like just scroll. And TRL was that to me. Because it'd be like, here's a song, here's a clip of a song, here's the song number 9, number 10, and here's the interview with Jack Black. Jack Black, we got 4 minutes of Jack Black. Okay, boom. Now let's go back to the next song. Hey, Jack Black, why don't you introduce the next song? He's like, all right, this one is Everybody by the Backstreet Boys, or it's like whatever. And then 2 would be cool because it was like 3 p.m. in the day. So it was like school would ended. I would be home alone, like watching it and be like, oh man, okay. Like, let's see what people voted on the music today. Like, what's going on? What are people listening to today? And I didn't love like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. I like that stuff more now than a lot of stuff that's out today. But like, hell, what is even out today? that we all know, like Taylor Swift. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. But anyway, man, it was like it was just awesome. I love that version of MTV. I never really got into the reality stuff. I mean, I like that show Catfish a lot. Look, that show Catfish though was pretty good. I always like that show Catfish, where it's like, I know it's reality TV, which means it's all staged, it's all fake or whatever. I get that, but it was always fun to be like, oh man, this guy's been texting this girl and sending her money, and then it'd be like a guy, and then it turns out to be like some white fat dude from Kansas, and like, how could you lie to me? It's like, I really love you. I know, dude, but like I sent you pictures of my penis, bro. Like they all say that, you know what I mean? But like, come on. Or like the girl would be like a girl, and it'd be like another girl. You know, and they're catfishing, man. They're faking like, oh yeah, I'm this model. And these people are so dumb. And I just love it. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, you can't, it's 2025. 2020, well, it's 2026 now, isn't it? And you know, there's truly no place for MTV anymore. And I think that's okay. But it is a huge end of the era. You know, as a teenager, man, like MTV Music Awards, I would watch those every time. I would watch those every time. I would look forward to it. I don't know if people look forward to the Grammys, Emmys, Oscars anymore. I mean, maybe some people do. But it's also polarizing now, and everybody's so anti-Hollywood and anti-music now. It's just so curmudgeon-y. Back then, a lot of bad stuff was happening back then. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like all peachy. But we didn't really know about it. And it is what it is. It's like my parents. My dad says this all the time. And like my parents are like conservative, you know, and so like they're kind of like, you know, gay, ooh, you know, gay, don't want to be gay. And you know, like, I mean, you can't be gay, but like, you know, like, you know, the boomers aren't super cool with gay. You know, and if you're a Christian, it's like, gay can be weird. Gay can be tough to like not accept. You can accept everybody, but it's tough to navigate. And I'm not like gay shaming or whatever. If you want to be gay, just don't. I got whatever. I don't care. Like, I mean, I want your life to be good. I want your life to be good. And I want you to have peace in your life. That's what I want for you. But anyway, the point I'm making is my dad used to be like, you know, we didn't know Elton John was gay, man. You know, we all loved Elton John, bro. Even the most masculine of bros, like we loved Elton John. We didn't know he was gay. Halo, we didn't know he was gay. And now here, like in 2026, I'm like, I know a lot of the artists that I really love are gay, and I'm just okay with that, because it turns out gay people are pretty good performers and writers. And it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, sorry. There's some really talented gay people out there. Freddie Mercury, top rock vocals of all time. And a lot of people would say, well, Steve Perry. What about Steve Perry? It's like, I get it. But nothing can beat Freddie, bro. Anyway, MTV, rest in peace. I have a friend now where like almost every time I don't talk to him a lot, but every time I talk to him, I almost mention TRL every time. So he and I used to we love that whole era, like that era of TV in general. Coming home, watching Fresh Prince, Saved by the Bell, TRL, Cribs, Nickelodeon would have their Friday night thing, like with all that and all that, like the Friday night Nickelodeon, like the weekend Nickelodeon stuff, like the variety TV stuff that they had, The Boom, Pete and Pete. TV was so good back then, dude. You have to understand, especially for teenagers, TV was so good back then. You could just watch TV all day, dude, and it would be great. Now it's so garbage now. It's so garbage now. You know, and the streaming services have taken over, and it's just garbage now. Speaking of garbage, Stranger Things is finally ending after 9 years. And to be fair, Stranger Things ended for me the season that Bobby Brown 11, Bald Girl 11, Billy Bob, yeah, that's her. When she went to hang out with those kids in the warehouse, like whatever that season was, me and Mrs. Dalorrian were like, this is over. We're done with this. And at that point too, I was thinking like, okay, these kids have been living in this town for 3 years now, and they have witnessed some of the most gruesome, horrific shit. Why do they still live in this town? Why does Will and his mom live in this town? Like, I remember like the last episode I saw, or like the last season episode I saw, was like Will was throwing up. Like it shows Will and he's at the sink and he's like throwing up like little worms. And I just remember thinking, and it was like that season. And it might have been, I think that was probably like season 3. I bet that was season 3. I don't know how many seasons they have. I guess 5 or 6 or something. I don't know. But I just remember thinking like, hey, you know, like it's starting to not make sense. Like you're starting like we have, the juice from this has been squeezed, and it was really awesome when the kids had this thing happen, and then little 11 had her powers, like, oh, what's going on? But now we're at a point where it's like, why do we still live in this house and in this town? Like, it's clear now that we should all move away from this town. Like, why do we still live here and act like nothing's happening? And it's kind of like the Harry Potter thing, which if you like Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. But it's like, you go to Hogwarts for like 2 years, and it's like, okay, 3 years. Hey, I'm in my 30 years of Hogwarts. Everybody's trying to get into this school and kill us. Why do we keep coming back to Hogwarts? Now, if you're Harry, it's a pretty good alternative. But it's like, I'm just saying, man, like if Hogwarts was a real situation, these wizards and warlocks and whatever, they would be homeschooling so fast, bro. I mean, maybe they do. Like, how many homeschooling wizards are there? Maybe that's all. Maybe the people at Hogwarts are just the ones that would be like are left over. Like maybe 90% of the wizard population is already homeschooling because they're like, hey man, we're tired of our kids dying. We're tired of our kids getting, you know, whatever. Now you could argue in real life with all of our horrible school shootings, people still go to school. I get that. But that's different because that's like one school and it keeps happening at the same school. Anyway, with Stranger Things, move away from the town. It's time to move. We're all going to die. What are we doing? But obviously the big stink on the internet is the Will scene, Will coming out. This is kind of a gay episode. It's not gay hate necessarily, but there's a big scene I've seen online. I watched the scene, and I don't want to judge it too horribly because like in the world we live in, it's so sensational. The scene was like a couple minutes long, and in the greater context of the show, it's probably not that big of a deal. But essentially what it is you have Will, one of the main characters, who like very like, according to what I've seen and read, very clearly gay before this. And he's just like, everybody's there in this house and he's like, I don't like girls, I'm different. and I just feel alone, and I'm sorry, and like I don't know what to do, and everybody just like hugs him, and he's just like, it's just like a big scene of him coming out, and I don't think everybody out in the world just hates gays. I think that, and this is a problem. Like so, it's interesting that something like this has happened in a show where people are raging about it. Now on Netflix, it's like you give any show 3 seasons, everybody's going to be gay, and the races are all going to be swapped to black or whatever. It's just, I mean, they're going to do like an Abraham Lincoln show, and like Abraham Lincoln's going to be black, and then all of the plantation owners will be black, and all of the slaves will be white. Like that'll happen at some point. There will be a Civil War show where everything is reversed. Eventually, if Netflix keeps doing what they're doing. Now that they own Warner Brothers, I'm sure Batman will be black, and yeah, it's okay. It's kind of over for a lot of that stuff, but and not that like black is over. I'm just saying like you just make new content instead of saying like, hey, here's an old content and IP. We're gonna redo it. Like right there, stop. Like with Harry Potter, they're coming out with a new Harry Potter show right there. Nah, it's too early. You don't have to redo the Harry Potter movies into a show. Do a prequel where like, you know, the boys are the Marauders or whatever. You seen like the AI trailer of that or whatever. It's like, do it whenever, you know, Harry's dad and Peter Pettigrew and Prisoner of Azkaban. Why can't I think of his name right now? I can't think of his name. Gary Oldman. Put Gary Oldman and all them, like, do when they were kids at Hogwarts. But then you say that, and you're like, well, don't do. And then on the one hand, I say, like, we'll do that. Then on the other hand, I'm like, well, if they did that, like, modern Hollywood, they're going to ruin that. They'll ruin the timeline. They'll Star Wars it. They'll make Harry's dad gay. They'll make Snape, you know, a black dude or whatever, which, you know. And there's a reason why you can't make Snape a black dude, by the way. It's not like I'm racist. It's like Snape is an emo dude, a white emo. Like Snape is like a school shooter. Like Snape's like one bad day away from being like a wand. Like we're taking his wand out and taking all the kids out. And in Hollywood, like I just don't think like Hollywood is capable. Like they're so, even if it's black or white, like it's so white knighty. Not white knighty, black knighty, we'll say. They're like in the new Harry Potter, if they make Snape black, like he'll be cool. They'll make him cool. Like, cause like Hollywood they will never make like a Urkel out of him. Cause that's racist now. You can't make Urkel because that's racist. Like Urkel, Family Matters did not come out good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. And maybe they will. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But whenever the Stranger Things, like the coming out at the end, like a lot of what I saw in the comments, a lot of people were like, hey, the world is ending. What are we doing having a coming out party? And when I read that, I was like, yeah, that's true. Like that's what's been happening to video games for a long time. Like in Dragon Age and everything, it's like, you know, it's like there's a wizard that's about to destroy the world. There's like a blight. Like we're a group of heroes that have to save the world. And then it's like a guy comes over and he's like, hey, I'm out. By the way, I'm non-binary. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, it's cool if like people want to talk about their sexuality and stuff, I guess. But it just doesn't seem relevant if you're trying to make a grand story where it's life or death. Usually your sexual preference doesn't come up, you know, in like a bleeding heart way. Now it might be like a moment where like, oh, the world's gonna end and I'm Will and I'm in love with this guy. I'm gonna kiss him real fast. I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, maybe that's like more appropriate. I don't know. I'm not a writer, dude. Well, I mean, I do write stuff, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. It's just a thing out there. I would love to hear from you guys what you think about that in general, like I just feel like the stories of gay people, diversity and stuff is just not done well. I think it's all forced, and I think it could be done better. And I feel like in the 90s, again, golden time of TV, I think it was just done better. I think it was just done better, man. You know who I love, dude? Like black character I love so much is Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon. He's a cop, older black dude. He's with the white dude who's a renegade, crazy person. He's got like a wife and kids. Stand up, black dude, by the book cop. Has a great character arc, personality, funny, serious. His daughter gets captured. He's trying to save her. Fucking great. And it's not forced at all. It's not like they said, we're going to take Riggs, who's the white guy, we're going to make him a black guy. We're going to make Riggs gay now. It's not meeting a quota. It's like, no, this is just like, these guys could totally exist. Like someone like these guys like could exist in our world. This character does not feel forced into this scenario. It feels natural. And I think have as much gay, black, trans, all white show, whatever. Just the writing is just so shove it in just to check the box. And it's not nuanced at all. It's like, here's an agenda that we have to put in. Even if it doesn't make sense, we have to put this in. And we're not going to have like any kind of nuanced backstory or anything to make it make sense. I don't know, man. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. Rainbow Six Siege got hacked. Big time. Massive. I think I read that like everyone was given like infinite money or something, and you could like buy packs. Everyone like had infinite skins and credits and stuff. And Ubisoft like pulled the servers down, and like apparently like all of their code for the game had leaked. And I mean, look, of all the shooters out there today, like Rainbow Six Siege is the one I'm more likely to go back to than any other shooter. I've played Rainbow Six Siege on and off since it came out. And ultimately, it's probably my ongoing favorite shooter. But like, I mean, like, yeah, they got hacked over the weekend. The servers were down. They stopped tweeting for like 19 hours. I've seen clips of people like opening up the packs and getting banned. And like, I think it's like a singular hacker like gave out money to everyone or something. It's crazy. And I think the marketplace is still down. I don't know if it's back up. Like, I almost turned it on just to see what was going on. I think I have it installed on my Xbox, I think. But I don't have my Xbox like, I could switch it over or whatever, but like just haven't been thinking about it. But I was like, man, I should, but I'm also afraid to log in. Because it's like I don't want to like get banned or anything. Like I just don't touch it. I just don't want to touch it because then I don't want to, not that there's any good skins at all in Rainbow Six. Dude, the skins in Rainbow Six Siege are like, there's a lot of bad skins in a lot of games. Rainbow Six Siege is like so bad. It's so bad. Thank God the core game is good because everything else is so bad about it. But yeah, the hack basically flooded players with billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. I saw somewhere it was like trillions, which is like insane. It's insane you can even spend that much money on this stupid game. Billions of dollars worth of in-game credits went out to just tons of people. They had to like cancel the marketplace. Dude, I hate it for anyone to get something like, I hate for anyone just like day to be ruined, or something stupid like this. But how awesome. And Ubisoft, man. The Charlie Brown of the gaming studios these days, Ubisoft, the whipping boy. You can't help but laugh at them because they're just the. To be fair, they're the deserve. Charlie Brown was always kind of like innocently getting dicked on, or picked on or whatever you want to say. But like Ubisoft kind of deserves it. So it's just kind of funny. But yeah. Another thing that was going on, Marathon is trying to be relevant. They posted like a video where it's like, here was our alpha footage, and now here's like what the game's looking like now. And you remember with Marathon, right? Like basically that a lot of their artwork was stolen, and the game is just doesn't look that good anyway. Like the artwork, for the artwork to be stolen, it looks like ass anyway. It's very gross color, theme, palette. I don't know. With Marathon, hopefully the gameplay is good, but again, like I just don't like. You got to get the art right, man. You got to get the art right, and for them stealing the art from people and being kind of nonchalant about it, and it's just gross. I mean, and like again, after Concord, dude, Marvel Rivals made it because they're Chinese and they're just gonna goon it out. And Marvel's so big, that's probably gonna do okay. But man, if you're trying to come out like Vanguard or High Guard or whatever it is, and Concord and Marathon, which Marathon would be cool because it's technically like a prequel to Halo if it hung its hat in the direction of the trappings of Halo. You know, kind of like that Aliens vibe. It would probably have a lot more. It doesn't have to be completely that, but it should have been kind of that. It should have been derivative of. But it just looks like AI cyberpunk slop. Gross. Like, it just like nothing's cohesive. It's just gross looking. But but what they did is, if you watch the video, they made an attempt basically to make it not so colorful and cartoony and like a little bit more warmer tones, maybe a little bit more photorealism looking. That's like the best way I can describe it. Again, you can see the clip. You can go look at it. It's everywhere on the internet right now, but you can go back and find it pretty easy and take a look at it. But, you know, I don't know if realism is really going to help or hurt Marathon at this point. I think if the gameplay is good, maybe they got something. But if they don't change, and they are changing the art, but like, man, is anybody interested in a hero shooter right now, dude? Arc Raid, I mean, there's a market for it because there's truly a market for it because look at Arc Raiders. There's a market for a live service game with guns where you loot stuff. There's a market for that, for sure. But man, isn't there so much crap out there? I don't know. I'm not particularly excited for Marathon. Is it going to come out this year? I think you're going to try to come out this year. Let's see, Marathon. I mean, they backed it up, right? Wasn't it going to come? Yeah, March 2026, $40. Oh man. Are we going to play this? Maybe. Maybe we'll play this. Maybe we'll play this. TBD. But I don't know if they can turn it around. Now, like something I've learned in the video game industry is that like you can turn things around. Like No Man's Sky has proved that. But it takes a long time. And you have to believe in it, and you have to say, no matter how horribly we were received, how horribly our broken game was, we're going to fix it, and we're going to give DLC in good faith for the next 10 years. And there's not many studios that are willing to dedicate their lives to a game for 10 years in general. And then even more so, like a game that gets shat on early on would be like, no, we're going to make this great. And hell, No Man's Sky this year at the Game Awards won like best ongoing game or something, like 10 years later. Can you believe that? And honestly, truly deserved. Honestly, truly deserved. If you haven't played No Man's Sky, I think it's totally worth playing. There's so much to do in it now. It may be a little overwhelming. It's like maybe it's a little too bloated now, but I don't know. Last time I played it, it was fine. I was like, I can do this, you know. There's some things about it that I wish they would change to make it better, but we won't have to go into a No Man's Sky deep dive right now. But yeah, I hope that you guys have a good New Year's. You know, it doesn't have to be loud and crazy. I hope it's chill for you. I hope 2026 is good for you if you're listening. Thanks for your support. Thanks for listening. Stop by the stream sometime. We try to stream 3 or 4 times a week. Give me some feedback. If you have anything you disagree with or questions about or corrections. If you want to get mad at me and yell at me, you can do that, I guess. Piece of shit. I'm kidding. But no, you can always leave a comment on YouTube here, or Spotify has comments, or you can always reach out at DalorrianTV@gmail.com. Have a good New Year. See you guys.